Hello, I hope you're great today. Let's dive right into it. Okay, so today you are working on conjunctions, coordinating conjunctions to be specific, and then the compare and contrast text structure. So there was a video in here, and I'm hoping that you watched it. It talks about coordinating conjunctions, which we could remember with the acronym FANBOYS. FANBOY stands for and nor, but, or, yet, so. Now, if you wanted to know when to use each of those, well, here we go. You'd use and to add information, or to express a choice, but tells a difference. I like red, but I also like yellow. Yet expresses a contrast, like but. It shows a difference. So you use so in a sentence to show the consequence of something, like as a result. That's why it's a clue word for cause and effect. If you don't study for your test, that was actually if or then. Let me rephrase that. You need to study for your test so that you get a good grade. It shows a consequence. For tells why, similar to because. And then the last one is nor, which joins two negative alternatives. He does not want to do the dishes, nor does he want to take out the trash. So it shows, it joins two negative statements. Okay. So what I want you to do here is I want you to decide which of these coordinating conjunctions go in each of those boxes. Okay, now let's talk about compare and contrast. Now, we have talked about compare and contrast in class. We've been talking about fiction. In fiction, we were comparing two characters, whether they were alike or different, plots, whether the events of the story were alike or different. In nonfiction, if the text structure is compare and contrast, you're going to be comparing two subjects. But you might see clue or also called signal words like similar, alike, same as, not only, but also, resemble, as well as, both. To show a contrast, you might use words like different from, however, although, on the other hand, as opposed to, more than, less than, on the contrary. In this, it shows a Venn diagram where you could compare the similarities and differences between lions and tigers. Let's, you and I, read this passage right here, comparing house cats, bobcats, it looks like. Let's get into it. Like the house cat, bobcats are mammals and are members of the feline family. Both, okay, you see there's a clue word both right there. That's a clue word for compare and contrast. Animals are very curious and use their whiskers to help them find out about their habitats. Both. There's that clue word again. Animals have excellent night vision. So, now it's going to show a consequence. So they can see well in the dark. Bobcats and house cats also walk with their claws inside their paws, so their footprints do not show their claws. Both. There's that clue word again. Types of cats are covered in fur and look cuddly. House cats have fur which can be lots of different colors. While, here's another, could be a clue word for the compare and contrast text structure because it's showing a difference. While bobcats have fur that is usually light gray or some shade of brown. Bobcats always have some spots on their coat, even if the spots are only on their stomachs. House cats and bobcats are also different. There's a clue word in size. Bobcats are about twice the size of house cats, weighing up to 30 pounds and standing up to 2 feet tall. They are also much faster than house cats and can run up to 30 miles per hour. Both bobcats and house cats, and there's both again, the clue word, are hunters by nature. While, there's another clue word, house cats are usually fed cat food with meat and grains. House cats still love to hunt for the occasional moth or insect which finds its way into the house. Outside, they will eat lizards, mice, birds, and grass. I'm going to take it back down again. They only meet, let's see, bobcats are skilled hunters with extremely sharp teeth. They only eat meat and stalk rabbits, squirrels, birds, rats, and even deer. So, what we need to remember is if it is the compare and contrast text structure, first thing you're going to have two subjects, at least two subjects that you're going to tell how they're alike or different. The other thing to remember is we have clue words that help us decide whether it's the compare and contrast text structure. Similar, alike, same as, not only, but also, resemble, same, as well as, both. You could also have, if you're showing a contrast, what's different. You could have the word different, different from, however, although, on the other hand, as opposed to, more than, less than, on the contrary. Okay? So, those would be clue words, also called signal words for compare and contrast. But you also need to remember that in compare and contrast, you're going to have two subjects, okay? Like apples and oranges, house cats and bobcats, lions and tigers. Two subjects if it's compare and contrast. So let's see. The author of this passage used the compare and contrast text structure. Which two animals were compared and contrasted? Well, that's easy. I know that they compared bobcats and house cats. Okay, what's the next question? Circle all of the topics below which would be best organized using the compare and contrast text structure. So let's pretend that these are titles and decide which of the titles show that it is probably two things are being compared and contrasted. So I'm going to make a copy here. Copy, Control C, Control V to paste. Bill Gates and Steve Jobs. Okay, there's two subjects. So I'm thinking that they will be compared and contrasted. Bill Gates was the leader of Microsoft, and Steve Jobs was the leader of Apple. So they're probably going to compare those two men and their careers. Let's see. B, foxes and wolves. Again, two subjects. So it would look like that they would compare how foxes and wolves are alike and different. C, how to make a paper airplane. Nope, that would be sequence or sequential because it's going to give me direction. So it would be the sequence text structure. Biography of Rosa Parks. Nope, that would be sequence and specifically chronological order because that will tell events in Rosa Parks' life in order from the beginning of her life to the end. Life cycle of a pumpkin. Nope, because that's going to, again, tell the sequence, the order of events. So I know it's going to be the sequence text structure. Bicycles and motorcycles. Okay, there we have two subjects. So I'm thinking that those will be compared. Well, if we were to read that, we would find out what was alike and different between bicycles and motorcycles. Okay, next question. How are house cats and bobcats similar and different? Okay, so I'm going to put an S for similar, a D for different. Well, I'm going to go back and I'm going to look. I always go back to the text and reread. So size. Let's see, it says, like a house cat, bobcats are mammals and members of the feline. Both animals are very curious, use their whiskers to help them find out about their habitats. Both animals have excellent night vision, so they can see well in the dark. Bobcats and house cats also walk with their claws inside their paws, so their footprints do not show their claws. Both types of cats are covered in fur and look cuddly. House cats have fur, which can be lots of different colors, while bobcats have fur that is usually light gray or some shade of brown. Bobcats always have some spots on their coat, even if the spots are only on their stomachs. House cats and bobcats are also different in size. So there's my evidence right there to know that they're going to be different. So Control C, Control V to paste. I know their size is different. Okay. B, night vision. It said right here in the text that both animals have excellent night vision. So there would be my evidence for that. So that would be a same. So I'm going to Control C, Control V. Same on night vision. It also said in the beginning of the text that they are like a house cat, bobcats are mammals. So they're both mammals. So I know that that is the same. Control C, Control V to paste. Claws while walking. Well, it did say right here, bobcats and house cats also walk with their claws inside their paws, so their footprints do not show their claws. Okay, so they're the same as far as their paws. So I'm going to click on it, Control C to copy, Control V to paste. Their diet. Okay, as far as diet, it says they're both hunters by nature. House cats are usually fed cat food with meat and grains. House cats still love to hunt for the occasional moth or insect which finds its way into the house. Outside, they will eat lizards, mice, birds, and grass. Bobcats are skilled hunters with extremely sharp teeth. They only eat meat, like rabbits, squirrels, birds, rats, and even deer. Okay, so their diets are different. So click on the D, Control C, Control V, paste. Diet's different. Let's go back to the text to see about their teeth. See. I'm scanning the text to try to find information, so I'm scanning the text for the word teeth. Okay, here we go. Bobcats are skilled hunters with extremely sharp teeth. So their teeth are different because bobcats have sharper teeth. So, Control C, Control V, because I know that's different. So what I just did is I read and then I compared and contrasted bobcats and house cats. Now, here's what I want you to do in your assignment today. This video will be right here. You are going to read about starfish and sand dollars. And then you are going to answer these questions. Make sure that you do underline and number evidence for questions 5 and 6. If you don't, points will be taken from your grade. Thanks so much.